On this episode of MythBusters, we unravel the secret world of ancient martial arts masters, the ninja.
Come, silent walrus, let us storm the castle.
As Adam and Jamie attempt to walk on water, snatch a speeding arrow,
That's perfect.
Shadow Warrior style,
Robo hand.
and stop a lethal samurai sword with their bare hands.
Master, he hit me in the head.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
Ow, 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 ow.
and Jamie Heineman.
It's almost too exciting.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Cue dramatic music.
Joining them, Carrie Byron,
That's gonna be so cool!
Grant Imahara,
For that baby purr.
and Tori Belleci.
Paramedics are nowhere to be found.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Well, it looks like you finally got your dream show, Adam. It's a whole episode devoted to ninjas.
I know, it is so cool.
You can jump around, make cat noises and karate chops and all sorts of adolescent behavior like we know you love to do.
I am so psyched about this one.
And so you want to go change into your outfit too now?
What makes you think I have a ninja costume?
I don't know, something tells me.
Let's look at some stock footage first.
The origin of legendary Japanese warriors, the ninja, is shrouded in mystery. It's believed they were peasants who developed unorthodox combat techniques to defend themselves against the powerful samurai class. Their skills were so extraordinary, they were reputed to border on being supernatural.
So, what do we got?
Well, Jamie-san, we are going to be testing ninjas' agility, strength, reflexes, and weaponry by putting their supposed mythical skills to the test of modern science.
You mean like catching an arrow?
Exactly. And there's walking on water.
What about the build team?
They're gonna test whether you can stop a sword with only your bare hands.
Well, maybe we should start by trying to find a real ninja.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Fortunately, modern-day ninjas aren't concerned about being covert, and the guys find the Bujinkan Dojo in San Francisco listed in the yellow pages.
Okay, so let's play with that to start with.
Chief Instructor Dale Seago has been teaching feudal battle skills here for more than 20 years.
Hi, Dale.
Oh, hi.
Hey Dale, good to see
Dale.
you. So this is ninja training going on?
Yeah. Well, this is all military close quarters combat stuff from Japan's pre-unification Civil War period, so like 1600 AD and before. Really, the stuff that we do is based on timing, positioning, tactics, and psychology, rather than speed and power.
I was hoping you'd just show us, like, what a ninja would do if I tried to attack them.
Okay.
Is now the time to tell Adam Dale is 15th Dan, and there is no 16?
Well, hopefully Adam won't get hurt too badly. A little bit is good.
Just do whatever.
Okay.
Adam hits the mat in record time.
Well, I was to do it so that I locked him up.
As he falls, Dale gives Adam some pointers on the way down with the famed ninja throwing star.
I wasn't actually using the point, just this, but it would say ripping out here,
Ow.
right?
Yeah.
And we took him down. I had it in here too.
Right in the back, that's good.
The point where he fell down, I was ripping across here, and he came down at a point where he actually was landing on it like this on the back of his neck.
That's pretty efficient. It's Jamie's favorite part, watching me get kicked, my ass kicked.
Adam and Jamie has enjoyed his schooling in the art of the Shadow Warrior.
Can you come back to our shop and do some of this on high-speed camera
Yeah,
for
I'd be
us?
delighted to.
Awesome. Okay, I'm done.
Next, Adam disappears to get some covert essentials.
Hello, how are you doing?
Very good. How are
Welcome
you?
to Tiger Claw.
there's even a martial arts superstore, and it has plenty of mercenary merchandise to choose from.
All right, the Ninja Row is down here.
The Ninja Row. That's great.
Just check out some of their red light saboteur specials.
They're called tabby boots. Have the split toes, so you can climb up ropes and stuff. And they're very silent. These Ninja foot spikes. They're great for walking on ice and for aerating your lawn. We have shuriken. You need lots of shuriken. Every ninja has many shuriken.
These are rubber shuriken.
Well, the metal ones are illegal.
And for the totally 80s enigma,
This is like wearing a t-shirt that says Witness Protection Program.
all undercovered out.
That's the whole thing?
The whole kit.
It's back to the lair to test their 3 ninja myths, beginning with the tale of running on water.
Well, barring any magical powers, which we can't really test on this show, ninjas definitely didn't just walk on water. But they might have had some help. Our researchers have turned up a thing called Mizugumo. So I'm going to build a set of these and see how effective they are.
Mizugumo, meaning water spider in Japanese, were flat wooden discs that ninjas strapped to their feet. The theory is the wide surface area distributed their weight evenly on the surface of the water, so they didn't sink. So what kind of wood would a ninja cobbler have used?
I've got some pine-based light-density fiberboard here. It's pretty much perfect for our uses, so I'm going to use this as our stand-in for the Mizugumo wood.
Adam measures and cuts out 2 circles of pine board. Then he slices each of them into 4 separate pieces.
That's good.
One by one, he stains the sections with a brown pigment and painstakingly sands them back. Paint on, paint off. Such is the mysterious way of the former movie prop maker who, for no particular reason, wants his water shoes to look worn in.
Looks a bit like old wood now.
Lastly, he places a rectangular block in the middle of each circle and secures the pieces together using twine. It's an ancient jigsaw that makes for a puzzling pair of footwear.
I didn't expect it to fold like that. But I wonder if that's not actually part of its function.
Jimmy Choo can rest easy, but these replica ninja shoes may just float like boats.
I can't wait to see how these work.
We know ninjas have speed and quick reaction time. This myth is about strength. Ideas: ninjas being attacked by a swordsman. Swordsman's coming to swing at his head. Ninja catches the blade in his hands without cutting his hands and without being chopped in half.
You mean like this? Oh, you're not supposed to let go of it.
That's precisely why we're not starting with real swords.
Precisely. The team learned just how dangerous real swords can be in a previous myth when they built a
Decapitation hazard, everybody.
pneumatically powered mechanical device that could whip around with the same force and precision
Blind blades are not good.
as a samurai with a point to prove.
Well, I guess it's time to dust off the old sword swinging rig.
I think we're gonna have to turn it on its side because I think it's more like a head swing and maybe calibrate it to human speed.
All right, cool. So which one of us is gonna catch it?
Not me.
People say I'm not that quick.
All right, well, maybe we should make a sword catching rig. Maybe 2 hands that come together like that, and we'll calibrate it to human force.
Sweet.
Sweet.
This is gonna be so much fun.
First, they need to make fake hands to attach to their rig.
We're gonna try to make some hands that are as flat as possible so that we will have as much surface area as possible to be able to catch that sword.
So, who will be the appendage model?
How big are your hands?
I think we should use Belechi's hands. More surface area.
How many weeks am I gonna have to sit through watching you guys play ninja?
As long as it takes for us to finish this one.
Carrie gets to work and mixes up a batch of alginate to make molds.
You're holding your hands flat like this?
No, I got something else going on. I got a surprise for you guys. You're gonna love it.
After 20 minutes, the gel is set.
Go higher.
And Tori can break free.
Nice. Looks good.
Meanwhile, Grant's brought our ninja's nemesis, the samurai sword-swinging rig, out of storage and has started putting it back together.
The basic idea behind this is big air ram pulls on the chain. The chain is wound around the shaft. As it pulls, spins the shaft, sword swings really quickly.
Representing our aristocratic samurai warrior is a pricey reproduction Japanese sword. Representing our ninja peasant is a humble ballistics gel head.
I like it. I love it. Good, homeboy.
They align the blade so it sweeps in a downward motion between the arms.
And if the hands miss, it'll get caught right here in the skull.
Love it. That's great.
Carrie has made multiple ballistics wax reproductions from Tori's hand molds and slots her first set into the rig.
Now we can also get that applause we always wanted.
MythBusters with a live audience.
Yay!
I like it.
Perfect.
The belief that some people possess the ability to walk on water has been around for centuries. So why not the mythical ninja? Adam and Jamie arrive at the Bamboo Reef Dive Center to try out their replica feudal foot floaties.
Can we use your pool for our water shoes?
You bet. Go for it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Adam vanishes into the ladies' room. And just like magic,
These are my special device for storming the castle, walking across the water.
All right then.
they may look unfathomable,
Tie my feet in within an inch of their lives.
but these flat wooden discs were modeled on an exact replica of Japanese feudal times footwear.
When we started looking into whether ninjas could walk on water, the first piece we came up with is a museum piece called the Mizugumo, supposedly for water walking. I'm about to find out.
Being pre-Velcro, Jamie's nautical knot-tying skills are a big help.
Not many people know this, but Jamie comes from an ancient line of 9 generations of shoe tires.
Come, silent walrus! Let us storm the castle! I will don my safety gear.
Adam dons his padded suit and psychs himself up for the challenge. Did you ever hear the legend of the nearsighted ninja? Nope, me neither.
I have a feeling how this is all gonna turn out. Just like a little intuition, like spidey sense.
So what does the wise, silent walrus think of Adam's water-walking chances?
I think Adam's going to sink like a stone. They are made of wood. They do float. But unless he's going about 80 miles an hour when he touches the surface of the water, he's going straight down.
The pool waters are as still as glass, and all is quiet. It is time for Ninja Savage to stride forward and walk across its surface.
The first step seemed kind of promising.
Promising may be a stretch. In order for it to be called walking on water, there needs to be more than one step. But ninjas are no quitters, so Adam has another tactic to try.
To me, it seems like it's all going to be a function of my ability to move my feet crazy fast, like a cartoon. Which might be possible.
Despite his increased momentum, the shoes still weren't able to support Adam's weight. But it was comical.
I believe that the moment I hit the water, I was sinking in the water. These may have slowed my descent, but that's really the best that can be said for them.
Looks like Adam's Ninja Turtle aspirations are all washed up.
I don't know about you, but these seem a little cumbersome to me.
Yeah, I don't think you're going anywhere on water with those things.
The important thing is that I look damn good.
Well, it turns out that mitsugumus were never really intended for walking on water. They were more for like rice paddies or mud flats, and they probably worked okay.
Kind of like snowshoes.
Exactly. However, ninjas also were not at all above trying to encourage the belief in their supernatural powers.
Ah, right, the masters of misinformation. I've heard they would do things like place posts underneath the water as they were escaping a shogun castle to make it look like they were walking on water. They wanted people to fear their magical powers.
Exactly.
The Mizugumo shoes may have sunk like the Titanic, but the guys might just rescue this myth yet. Could ninjas stop speeding swords with their bare hands? To find out, the team is building a mechanical device that's part sword-swinging samurai and part sword-catching ninja.
That looks good.
To calibrate it to move with realistic human strength and speed, they need to do some tests. Grant hangs a force plate on a C-stand that represents the blade the ninja must catch. The force of the ninja's hands will be set to the person with the greatest strength.
And do it like your life depends on it.
Thanks for that motivation, Grant.
Go. Go.
Go.
And with a mighty firm smack peaking at 1,000 newtons, the most determined to stay in one piece is
The pain.
Grant.
The pain from the initial hit. Well, there you go.
You're all full of Newtons.
You are full of Newtons.
Yeah, fig Newtons, maybe.
The team sets up for their next test to determine the speed of the sword swipe.
Take this sword, throw it down as hard as you can on the ninja, and we'll see who's the fastest. Don't think of it as a competition, but it is.
Suddenly, Adam ambushes the trio. It was a classic ninja move. Tori steps up to take the first swing. The rig will be calibrated to whoever's the quickest.
Whenever you're ready, Tori, then we'll show you how it's done.
Oh.
I'll come back.
Master, he hit me in the head. You teach him a lesson.
Warning, sword blows to the cranium may cause headaches. Next, will Adam's attempt have more of an edge?
Master Savage sword swinging trial, take one.
Wow.
Look at that.
Ninja's cool black stalker wear is getting shredded. Finally, it's Grant's turn.
The ninja must go to the bathroom before he swings his sword.
He hasn't looked this incensed since Star Trek was canceled.
Master Imahara sword swinging test, take one.
Nice.
They compare their times on the high speed, and once again, Grant aces the test.
How many frames is that?
That is 24 frames and 96 milliseconds.
Nice work.
Way to go, benchmark.
Thank you.
I think it was the face.
That's about 47 miles per hour.
Our young grasshoppers have learned much of the way of the ninja.
You have graduated to the next level.
Next up in our ninja bits, can you catch an arrow with your bare hands?
How are we going to do that?
Well, I figure we should take some of our arrows downstairs and you can shoot them at me and I'll just try and catch them.
So you'd actually let me shoot at you with a bow and arrow?
Amazingly, yes.
All right.
Legend has it that a ninja could do this dexterous trick with ease, so Jamie and Adam want to get a feel for it themselves.
I'm going to string a regular bow and set up an arrow with a tennis ball on it and shoot it at Adam, or at least off to the side of Adam. We'll put Adam in a protective suit in case I either get frisky or miss.
Jamie is an experienced archer, and even though he's not using a real arrowhead, this is not something to try at home.
He's going to be shooting from over there into this garbage can. I'm going to be standing here. We'll catch it on high-speed camera, see how fast
I can actually catch this arrow at.
Jamie marks out notches on the shaft. The further he pulls back, the faster the rod will travel.
Whoosh! All right, I'm ready if you are. You want to start slow?
Yep.
All right.
Jamie starts out at Mark 1.
2, 1.
The arrow eludes Adam's grasp.
I don't have enough time to anticipate. It's like by the time you let go and I've moved.
Still at Mark 1. This time, Adam tries to move in sync with the arrow.
Hey!
Good job.
You know, I anticipated when you were just about to do it, and I just started moving, and we worked. It's like working together.
It's a beautiful thing. Next, Jamie ups the ante to Mark 3. But the arrow keeps sailing on by, as the guy's unified martial arts magic peaked already.
Got it!
Even though Adam's form was impressive, the speed was lacking. Their tennis ball projectile was traveling at 58 miles an hour, a third of the speed of a real arrow.
You've got a couple of things here that are throwing this off. For one thing, this is, what, twice or 3 times as heavy as a normal arrow would be because of that thing on the end of it.
Right.
I really think that we need to figure out some other solution.
To test this myth at a true-to-life rate, the guys have to bounce around a new strategy. Back over at M7, the team has finished putting their mechanical sword-catching rig together. Now, to set it to move at a real-life rate.
We don't want it to be superhuman, and we don't want it to be subhuman. We want it to be whatever a person could do, and then we'll be ready to try and catch a sword. Calibration first test at 100 psi. In 3, 2, 1.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, the speed and force of the ninja's arms was exactly the same as Grant's best time, but the replay reveals something undetectable to the naked eye.
There's a bounce back which could let that sword get right through there.
As the hands hit together, they bounce off each other and jiggle like jello, opening up an unforeseen headache.
The force is causing him to bounce away, and it's allowing a gap which is going to allow the sword to go right through and bury into the guy's head.
To try and stop the handshake, they're going to strengthen them from the inside. Building up the bones may add extra beef.
First you slice the hand in half, and then you get to beat the metal and you stick it in.
Tori has a big saw over there, and he's taking out these tiny little pieces of metal and putting in big, thick, girthy pieces of metal. That way when these things hit,
Tori also has another quiver-containing idea.
What I'm thinking is maybe what we do is put some kind of a latch so that when the hands come together, it keeps them there. And it's not adding any more pressure. All it's doing is keeping the hands together like you would be able to do if you were using your muscles.
He attaches 2 kickstands to the arms that will fall and lock into ratchets, and fastens pneumatic rams on either side of the hands.
This thing's starting to look like a monster. Pretty soon you're not going to recognize it.
But it's function, not form, that counts.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
That look nice and sturdy and stable.
Yeah.
They check it out frame by frame.
Stay together.
Come on.
Stay together. Yeah! Baby!
That's
There
it.
we go.
Right now what we have to do is catch a sword. That should be easy.
With their rig set to human speed and pressure, Grant adds a final touch that will trigger the entire system.
When the arm passes through, it actually activates the hands clapping.
Let the recreation of the battle between the 2 ancient warrior classes begin.
In 3, 2, 1.
High five. It seems our mechanical ninja thwarted the flash of samurai slicing steel straight away. Or are we jumping to conclusions?
You know what my guess is? Why is that? It bounced off the table and then shot back up into the
So you got it on the rebound!
And everybody knows being caught on the rebound doesn't count.
That's so sad.
head.
I was like shocked that we actually caught it. I was like, how does it that easy?
So true. But moving on is the best remedy. Grant adjusts the timer so the hands will trigger sooner.
Hopefully this time, the adjustment will get it so that the hands clap right on the sword.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
He stopped it with his head. Dude, look how deep that went. It's all the way down to his eyebrow.
Whoa, that definitely split your skull.
The hands slam shut quicker, but not quick enough.
Oh, we just missed it.
Okay,
All right,
so it's just.
We just need to pull it back just a hair.
So close.
Just a hair.
So they tweak the timer just a hair.
Ninja sword catching rig in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
That looked good.
It looked right.
It looked really good.
This time, the sword comes to a stop, but only because the hands closed a fraction too early and the blade got stuck in the ballistics material.
We're 5 milliseconds off.
All right.
5 milliseconds. Do you know how fast 5 milliseconds is? That's ridiculous.
It's faster than you can blink your eye. Much faster.
Such an infinitesimal amount might not make any difference to their results.
Thinly sliced palm.
So, do they call this myth busted right here, right now, or go for absolute precision?
I think maybe we have to get it the perfect timing before we can actually say anything, otherwise people will yell at us.
Jamie and Adam are targeting the myth that a ninja can pluck a speeding arrow out of the air.
You know, I was only able to catch these arrows at 60 miles an hour, and I'm not trained at this, but still, your average arrow travels like 3 times that fast.
If we were to build a mechanical hand, I could do that. You know, I can make it grab as fast as it's physically possible to grab something.
Or even faster if it turns out that's not possible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll build a super accurate arrow shooting rig, you build a hand grabbing rig, and we'll see what the limit of the human ability to grab an arrow is.
Okay.
Before they build their new rig, Jamie and Adam want to study the physical capability of a master of martial arts. Up close and personal. Enter the Dale, our feudal battle skills expert.
How are you, sir?
Hi, I'm good to see you. Jay.
Thanks for coming by. So, have you seen the supposed skill that ninjas possess of being able to pluck arrows out of the air?
Well, only in the movies, because from what I've been taught in our training, the idea was to get out of the way or use cover to hide from them, or or wear armor if you're on the battlefield.
Very sensible, but even so, Dale is willing to let the guys time the swiftness of his highly trained hand.
When you're ready, just go like that, and we'll fire the camera and see how fast it happens.
Okay, about there.
Whenever you're ready. Did you get it?
If you blink, you would have missed it.
Wow, this is 500 frames per second, so you closed your hand in about 35 milliseconds. That's great. That gives us a really good baseline to try and get our robot to equate to, and I think it makes it a lot easier for our mythical ninja to actually catch it.
Many thanks, Sensei Seago, for lending a hand to this myth.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dale.
Jamie's beret doesn't come off for many reasons, but one of them is to weld. His job is to make a mechanical hand that's as fast as Dale's.
This is a trick that I've used before on various kinds of movie things where I need a fake hand. A motorcycle chain is actually very sturdy, and if you run a line along one side of it that pulls taut, the whole thing wants to curl up like that.
Jamie welds 5 pieces of chain together to form the fingers of a hand. Then he attaches it to a metal stand and threads the links through with long laces.
These things that I'm putting in here right now would be equivalent to tendons, but instead of going to a muscle, they're going to a pneumatic actuator.
The actuators will provide the force that will clamp the fingers and thumb shut in a vice-like grip.
This will be protecting Jamie's shop in no time.
Stop. You have 3 minutes to comply.
While Jamie completes the catch, Adam works on the throw.
I've hard mounted the bow to a steel frame.
I've got a trigger mount that can pull back the string, and all this will be attached to a timer, a super sensitive timer that will also trigger the hand catching.
The timers will allow the guys to fine-tune the release and hand grab to the millisecond. Now, to see if his aim is true.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. That's great.
Now to line up the ninja in front of the samurai. Adam and Jamie's arrow-nabbing device is part man,
That's perfect.
part machine.
Well, that ain't moving.
That's not going anywhere?
All ninja.
Robo hand.
Your move, creep.
Adam's built his shooting rig, and it's all set up with timers to coincide with my hand rig, which, for this myth to be true, this hand should be able to actually close quickly enough at human speed to grab the arrow.
Arrow catching rig, test number 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The fist closed too late. Adam goes through the numbers.
Off by 200 milliseconds.
Both the arrow and hand were moving at accurate real-life speeds. The arrow clocked 170 miles an hour, and the hand grab was just 2 milliseconds slower than Ninja Dale.
Given the speed that this hand is closing, it pretty much matches our ninja's high-speed whoosh hand closing. So this is actually a really good analog for a human catching an arrow.
Adam adjusts the timers to his precise calculations.
The arrow to release 200 milliseconds after the hand starts to activate. So that's 1, 2, and it's 200 milliseconds. That ought to do it. Arrow catching rig at human speed. 3, 2, 1.
But they soon learn you don't become a ninja overnight.
Oh wow, the arrow overshot the hand. The grab should be closed there. That's 30 more milliseconds. 3, 2, 1.
It went over the top of it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. All right, 3, 2, 1. I wonder what happened.
Too fast for my eyes.
I know.
Finally, they achieve a perfectly coordinated shot. But even though the rig was working at the correct human and arrow speed, the ever-elusive projectile slips through the hand's grasp.
That tells me that at human speed, it's not fast enough to grab the arrow.
I think that's exactly what this says. I think you're absolutely right.
I think our only choice at this point is to make the hand go faster.
To ramp it up.
That's all there is left.
All right, I'll get to rigging.
Hi, ikimashou. That's let's go in Japanese.
We have a technique for speeding up the hand, so this will move so quickly you won't even be able to see it move.
Very ninja. The trick is to spring-load the actuators so they hit the quick release, superhuman hard and fast.
Okay, now I preload the cylinders. It's a lot of force. Here we go. It's all gonna happen in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. That is perfect! Superhuman ninja strength!
Got it. At bionic speed, RoboHand finally manages to defend himself.
Our robot hand is closing 5 times as fast as a human could possibly close their hand.
And that's what it took.
It finished before the tail feathers got there, but any slower and it wouldn't have caught that arrow.
So, the hand of a mere mortal could never have achieved this feat.
Myth is busted. This is what it would take to catch an arrow.
Robo hand.
Robo hand! Now, just all we have to do is build the rest of our superhuman ninja robot, and we can take over the world.
Okay, you do that.
Trying to walk on water. Wearing an exact replica of supposed ninja water walking shoes. Adam got nothing but wet.
Well, You were right about these water shoes, man. Even when these on, I sank like stone.
Yeah, they pretty much sucked. I guess that means the myth is busted for me.
Well, it may be, but now we have to figure out what it would take to walk on water. And personally, I'd like another crack at making my own set of water walking shoes. I think it's possible.
This time, Adam is thinking out of the box and making a modern-day pair of ninja shoes. His 21st century Mizugumo materials are a pair of snowboard boots, aluminum, and packing foam.
This is a deadly weapon.
His idea is oh so simple, yet oh so calculated.
To make my water boots work, I am exploiting the principle of water displacement. I weigh about 200 pounds. I'm going to try and displace in excess of 200 pounds of water. I've calculated that 4 layers of this gives me about 2.2 cubic feet per foot of water displacement. That equals about a total of 265 pounds of buoyancy.
He traces outlines of the boots onto the foam, cuts out a hole, and wedges them inside. Then he sprays glue between the layers.
Awesome! I could not have gone better.
Sometimes the things you learn in kindergarten stay with you forever. Time to take his shoes for a dry run.
Dude!
His runway strut needs some work, but he thinks his clogs are kicking. To keep the foam from breaking apart, he tapes aluminum sheeting to the base and rivets on a lightweight rail to keep everything rigid.
I've added enough strength that it can support my 200 pounds out at either end, and it only has to support half that. So there's a little bit of flex, but no breakage.
To ensure a smooth gliding action in the water, he shapes the tips so they scoop upwards. The final touch is to paint them in a timeless shade of ninja noir.
I'm painting these black because I want to say that I want to be invisible, right? I mean, it's like in the modern society, no one knows who you are. That is the essence of the ninja, right?
Right. To find out, it's back to the pool.
These look like fun.
Well, this is Ninja Shoe 2.0. This is my attempt. What do you think?
I think it's going to be real hard to stay upright on those puppies.
There's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Adam boards his tanker ships and is ready to launch.
Woo! Oh, if I had any dignity, that would have been humiliating.
Just as well, because we want to see that pratfall again. For his next attempt, he tries a gentle sitting start.
There you go.
There we go. Oh, I'm stealthy as the night.
Oh. Don't I look like silent death? Bringing justice in the night?
Our far from soundless assassin is trying his hardest to move forward.
My paddles don't seem to be working, man.
But it's like being stuck on a nautical treadmill.
I don't know about these ninja shoes, man. What do you think?
I think they suck.
They don't suck.
Harsh, but true. The samurai have won this mission, and Adam accepts defeat.
I give up on my ninja shoes. They're not stealthy, they're not easy, and they don't move.
You've seen this ninja battle trick in 1,000 B-grade martial arts movies, but is it possible? To find out, Carrie, Tori, and Grant built a sword-catching machine that so far hasn't cut it.
He stopped it with his head.
But the timing of their rig is only off by less than the blink of an eye, and Grant's got a plan to make it perfect.
And that's this. It's a timer, And this will give me millisecond resolution so I can dial in the delay exactly.
Grant makes the minute adjustment they need, and our ninja is prepared to make his final attempt.
This is it. I can feel it. This has got to be it.
In 3, 2, 1.
Something came off the hands.
Yeah, it was really close.
Once again, the sword slips through our ninja's fingers. But were his reflexes right on?
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, keep going.
One.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We got it.
That's it.
The timing was right.
Thank you.
That is it.
Thank you very much.
You can't get any more perfect on the timing than that.
And you still can't catch the sword.
That's it. Look, and it just slides right through.
With their mechanical ninja operating under ideal conditions, there's nothing more they can do in the workshop. So it's time again to consult our real-life ninja, Dale.
Nice to meet you. So I notice you have all your fingers. Have you ever tried to catch a sword with your hands?
We prefer to get out of the way. I mean, we may take the sword away, but there's an offline evasion first.
A wise tactic. But to put this myth to the true test, Dale is bravely allowing Carrie to swing a sword towards him. Don't worry, the blade has been dulled.
All right, so he's just coming at you like this. So let me just get the spot.
Wow, you have a lot of confidence in her. A lot more than we do.
For extra protection, he's wearing shuko on his hands, reproduction ninja climbing claws.
So go like this.
Yeah, you'd be starting with your left foot forward, and then taking a step, getting some momentum, and kaboom.
Okay.
Don't hold back, Carrie.
Carrie summons up her best kaboom.
Jeez, that's
Did I get
scary.
you or just the sword?
No, that's scary though. Okay.
You almost got him that time. Wow.
With 40 years of training under his black belt,
That's some force behind it.
Dale blocks her blows using just one hand. And Carrie wasn't going easy on him.
Do you feel that maybe my swing wasn't hard enough?
It was hard enough. I actually, there was a little bit of a bruising here because this doesn't have the leather liner that the historic ones would have for a little extra padding.
Dale's preferred sword catch technique is different to the one we're testing. So what's his take on the bare, double-handed approach?
What do you think about, catching a sword like in the movies like this with your bare hands?
That's something I wouldn't regard as impossible, but for the most part, pretty silly. I mean, the idea of trying to stop it this way with all that kinetic energy still coming here is probably not a good idea. If you were to attempt it and try to make it work, it'd be best to catch and receive so you're absorbing and redirecting the force.
I'd shake your hand goodbye, but I think I'll just wave and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys. High five, huh?
Look at that slice.
Back at the shop, armed with Dale's input and the sorry condition of their fake hands, what conclusion has the team come to?
So, yeah, bare hands.
The timing was perfect.
And the hands came together at the perfect time with the most human strength we can muster and still couldn't hold on to it.
Are we calling this one busted?
Yeah, pretty much unless you're a movie ninja. I don't think that you can hold on to the sword. There's just too much velocity behind it.
Yep, we gave this one our best shot.
So you mean all those ninja movies were not true?
Attempting the mythical ninja trick of walking on water, Adam went nowhere but under. But as the silent observer of his numerous dunkings, Jamie's had time to think, and he's come up with a mysterious solution.
There is something that I've come up with that you can walk on it. It does have a lot of water in it. I'd like to see how that works.
His covert concoction is 200 gallons of water and 1,000 pounds of powdery cornstarch. Trusted myth-turned Jess is in charge of getting the consistency just right. Some blue food coloring completes the recipe.
Okay, we're good. Are we ready to pour?
Yeah, ready when you are.
The mixture is tipped into a large plastic container that represents a deep samurai moat. Adam is perplexed.
What is this stuff?
It's water. It's got something else in it, but it's water.
It's a Heinemann version of water.
Yeah, and you're gonna walk on it.
No way.
There's nothing Adam would rather do than play in a giant tub of goo.
Look at this!
Finally, the container is filled to the brim, and our ninja novice soaks up some advice from Sensei Heinemann.
I think you ought to get one good stride across it. As far as hanging out there and walking around or even hopping, I have my doubts.
All right, well, I want to go.
Adam scales the imaginary wall and is ready to cross the water obstacle.
Think like those movies where they're walking up bamboo and stuff, you know.
All right, here we go. That is so cool!
Hey, it worked.
It sure did. Adam ran across the surface. The reason is the cornstarch and water combo is a non-Newtonian fluid, and these kinds of fluids change their viscosity. Cornstarch is made up of long chains of molecules. If you add water, it slides between the chains and separates them so it flows like a liquid. But if you add pressure, the water is squeezed out and it behaves like a solid.
It looks like a liquid, it pours like a liquid. But when you want to run across it, you're fine because the impact of your feet is enough to change that balance. All of a sudden you've got a solid that you're dealing with only for a second, but it's long enough for you to move across the top of it without sinking into it.
I'm just gonna go back and forth a couple times because it's really fun.
Adam shatters the perception that shadow warriors don't know how to have a good time.
Dude, it's a lot of work. Being ninja is a hard job. Woo.
It wants to let you go down, doesn't it?
All right, so this is just to show there's no trickery involved. This is actually a liquid. I'm gonna step into it. I'm gonna sink. Then I'm gonna change my clothes. Oh, that's funky. Oh, dude, that feels so wrong.
So it's a far-fetched idea for feudal Japanese times. But corn was introduced to Japan around the 16th century, right around the time ninjas existed. And it sure was fun.
Oh, come on in, the water's great.
Of course, this is a little on the silly side. I mean, yes, it's a liquid, but are you really going to have large quantities of cornstarch mixed up and sitting around someplace? I suppose maybe next to a cornstarch factory in Asia somewhere, and you happen to be a ninja and you happen to be trying to sneak around. It's a bit of a stretch.
All right, so this is the end of the line for walking on water. What do you think?
It's busted.
Totally busted. Let's go home.
All right.
On this episode of MythBusters,
I take your bullets!
it's survival of the fittest. As we track down the myths you say got away for Myth Evolution. Will an airbag explosion tear your thumbs clean off? Whoa! Is breathing from an underwater tire possible or just more Hollywood hot air?
I can't believe that this is my job.
Can an MRI scan cause an RFID implant to explode? Could the nimble ninja deflect bullets with their bare hands?
We killed the ninja!
And Adam and Jamie return to the fastest myth of all. Is there any way to beat the speed camera?
Dude, that was like getting punched in the chest.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
That was awesome.
and Jamie Heineman.
Mush.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Rise, my son.
Joining them, Grant Imahara,
Warning!
Tori Belleci,
It's getting dangerous now, and that's how we like it.
and Carrie Byron.
That is messed up!
They don't just tell the myths,
Wow, I can feel the pressure.
they put them to the test.
So, you know what my favorite part of the show is?
Talking.
No, it's going back and trying myths again to make sure we've dialed it in and gotten it right.
So it's that time again.
Absolutely, Myths Revisited, except this time with a twist, Myths Evolution.
Myths evolution.
Yeah, every time we air a myth, the next morning I go onto the fan site and find all these myths that have to do with what we just did, except we didn't know about them at the time. So I want to do a whole episode of the myths that got away.
Well, okay, what do we got?
Well, we got more for ninjas, we've got underwater car, we've got baseball, airbags, and a cheeky speed camera revisit.
Okay.
That's right. Every time an episode goes to air, the MythBusters are soon bombarded with myths the fans think we missed. And for Myth Evolution, we're returning to some of the fans' favorite topics to tackle the myths we apparently forgot. And first up, for the Ninja Special, the MythBusters put their stealth, speed, and cunning to the test for some Shadow Warrior myths. They tried walking on water,
I don't know about you, but these seem a little cumbersome to me.
snatching an arrow mid-flight,
That tells me that at human speed, it's not fast enough to grab the arrow.
and stopping a sword.
He stopped it with his head.
So for Myth Evolution, it's time to return to the dojo.
Do you guys remember the Ninja Special? Yes! There was one myth the fans thought we forgot. It's about modern ninjas.
Which one?
Well, the myth is that a modern ninja has such awesome reflexes that they can swat away a speeding bullet with their bare hands. Now, it's not like the Karate Kid catching, a fly with his chopsticks. It's more like...
No way. Not even a ninja can beat a bullet.
Well, the fans say that a modern ninja can swat away a 9mm bullet at 20 yards.
Well, if the fans believe it, we need to test it.
All right.
Is a ninja really faster than a speeding bullet? In this myth, the Shadow Warrior uses his bare hand to slap a bullet out of its deadly trajectory without injury. But is this possible, or is it just another example of ninja misinformation?
You know, I seem to remember that Adam and Jamie proved that it was impossible to catch an arrow traveling at 170 miles an hour. A bullet is going to be much faster than that. I just don't see how anyone could slap it with their bare hands.
Not to mention how dangerous this myth is going to be to test.
Well, we could do what we always do. Start out by building a robot.
What is it with you and these robots?
Or we could find a way for one of us to do it without getting hurt.
Well, what do you propose? Full Metal Jacket? Give it a shot?
I think we should start out by shooting paintballs at Tori.
I call the gun.
That's gonna suck.
Well, that's definitely safer than ballistics. So before they bring out the big guns, they'll test if a deflection is even possible with paintballs. And unluckily for Tori, Carrie has a score to settle.
This is not the first time we have shot paintballs at each other. But last time, I was the recipient of those bullets. This time, I think I need a little payback.
But before Tori takes one or two for the team, Grant wants to find out the muzzle velocity of a paintball.
Nice.
There you go.
All right, it's 192 feet per second.
Yeah, the slowest 9mm load they have is 1,250 feet per second.
So a paintball is traveling at less than 1/5 the velocity of a speeding bullet. Well, that's good news for Tori, because he has less than 1/5 the ability of a ninja.
Come on, hit me.
But almost immediately, it's obvious that Tori is no ninja. If these were real bullets, he'd be dead.
That's not for science, is it? That's just for you.
I take your bullets. Okay, go. Got it.
After a barrage of paintballs, Tori finally manages to deflect one. Blink and you'll miss it. Luckily, there's the high speed. Tori hits the paintball with the heel of his hand, slapping it away from his body, and his hand is injury-free.
Yeah! And I got it! Now we can stop.
You did get it.
Tori's battered and bruised, but he's proven that a regular person can deflect a paintball. So maybe the fans are right, and Super Sharp Ninja can deflect a 9mm.
Okay, well, I think it's time to do this for real. We set up the robot, take this to the firing range, and see what we get.
With a real ninja unavailable, Grant goes for the next best thing, a robot.
So our ninja sword-catching rig has done its duty. So we're gonna take the clapping rig, take off some of the actuators, and switch it over so it can now deflect bullets.
While Grant retools his robot, Carrie gets hands-on.
For our bullet deflecting rig, we're gonna need some flat hands so that we can slap the bullets away ninja style. Luckily, I've already made some molds with flat hands for the catching of the sword rig. Now, just had to pour up another set and we can adjust our machine accordingly.
Many hands make light work, and the so-called SWAT bot is up and slapping in no time. Carrie calibrates it to human speed, and Grant gets trigger happy.
So, first step is to take the rest, fix it to my little base, then I'm gonna line up the pneumatic cylinder and make sure that that's actually able to fire the trigger, hook that up to a valve, get an air tank, then we're ready to fire.
For this myth, it'll be bot against bullet, assassin versus ammunition. And with everything ready, it's off to the range.
How are you going to bust all the secrets of the ninja and be able to still talk to your nerdy friends?
Quit making jokes about ninjas. This is serious.
Never joke about a ninja. The SWAT bot is in place. And for perfect aim every time, there's Grant's robo-shooter.
We're set up for the whole ninja myth, can you swat a bullet with your hand? We have our gun 20 yards down the range, set up on a trigger. We hit that trigger there. That'll set off this timer, which will actuate our arm and bring the arm down towards the bullet. This way we'll be able to see if you can, in fact, swat a bullet with your hand.
All right, test number 1, 20 yards away, slowest 9mm round we could find, ninja at human speed.
With 0 delay.
All right, let's get ready for the smackdown.
Remember, according to the myth, the SWAT bot should be able to deflect the bullet and leave the hand and ninja unscathed.
In 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that was so far behind.
That was really slow.
The SWAT bot missed the bullet, so the team resets. And that's when things go off target. Every time they take a shot, the gun fires in a different place. And try as they might, the gun just won't fire in the same spot twice.
The hardest thing that we've had to face today is the fact that our gun seems to be moving. We can't fire in the same place twice. So we're going to take all of our problems home with us. Come back tomorrow, everything will be perfect.
Now, a little while back, Adam went all rock star on us and drove a car into a pool. The MythBusters tested a bunch of techniques for escaping a suddenly submerged vehicle, from door barging
That is intense, no matter how you slice it.
to finding that window of opportunity. So for Myth Evolution, we're returning to the pool for another underwater escape. Straight from the movies.
What did we get wrong on underwater car?
For once, nothing at all. It's just something I saw in the movies that I wanted to go back and try. What I've seen is our hero goes over the bridge and into the water, and the bad guys are at the surface waiting to shoot him when he comes up. Knowing this, while underwater, he swims over to the tire and breathes from it long enough for the bad guys to be sure that he's dead and go away.
Huh.
Picture the scene. Our hero's been hotly pursued by gun-toting baddies. His car winds up in the drink. Knowing that the bad guys are waiting at the surface, our resourceful star opens a tire valve and breathes the air until the bad guys pack up and leave. But is this just Hollywood hot air, or can it be done?
So,
I know that we rarely ask for something before we're gonna do it, but I personally am dying to be the subject of this myth. I've been wanting to try and breathe from a car tire into water forever.
Okay, but I mean, it sounds like it might be a little dangerous. You've got issues about what the air quality in the tire is, whether it's toxic or not. So I'd like to check with some other dive experts and see what they think about it.
Okay, fair enough, and we'll have the contents of a car tire analyzed and see if the stuff is safe to breathe.
So to plunge into this one, they'll get some expert advice. Return to the pool, call in the crane, and take the car for a dive. But first up, is the tire air even breathable?
So we brought the tire to a lab that analyzes toxicity levels. They're gonna take a sample of this and tell me if it's okay to breathe.
One thing's for sure, Adam will never tire of playing around. Inside, an air sample is taken from the tire for testing.
What we're going to be doing is attaching the bag to our instrument. It's going to go through what's called a gas chromatograph, and in the gas chromatograph it takes that complex mixture of gases and separates it into the individual components.
Have you ever analyzed air from a tire before?
Actually, we haven't. I'm not sure what to expect.
So this is like exciting stuff, right?
This is cutting-edge science right here.
The gas chromatograph gets to work sniffing through the tire air. And thanks to the wonders of editing, the results are in. Toxicologist Jim Embry delivers the good news. There's nothing poisonous. Although a solvent has registered, it's still safe to breathe.
That's by far the chemical with the highest concentration here. However, that is in a very low concentration. It's equivalent to 2 parts per million.
Right.
And that won't cause any adverse health effects whatsoever, even if you were breathing it for a long period of time.
Well, so there's not much bad stuff. What about the good stuff that we need, like oxygen?
That may be one area where there's a problem, because oxygen's only around 13%, and normal air is right around 21%.
So the tire air is breathable, with almost no toxins. But there's a significant drop in oxygen levels. Will this drop be enough to bust this myth?
All right, Jimmy, we got all the information that we could get about this tire thing. I think it's time to go out to the pool. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I can't think of anything that's holding us back. It's your lungs.
I cannot tell you how cool it is to have a job where we try things that only action movie heroes do.
And for Adam to put his action hero ambitions to the test, it's back to the Campolindo High School pool. While the team sets up, Adam runs through the game plan.
If I can stay down for at least 2 minutes, hopefully my goal is 2.5 minutes, then we know that I have achieved exactly in real life what you've seen the action heroes do in the movies.
While Adam's playing stuntman, Jamie's in charge of safety yet again.
My role in this is going to be to simply sit in the car and make sure that Adam's safe until he gets out of the car, at which point the other safety divers will take over and make sure that nothing happens to Adam.
Jamie puts on the second skin his people have worn for centuries to fight off the desert heat.
With Jamie suited up, everything's ready for Adam's action hero heroics.
Here we go, we're going up.
Adam psychs himself up to take the plunge. Once under, he must remain calm and composed. It'll take at least 90 seconds for the pressure differential to equalize. Until that happens, he won't be able to escape.
I can't believe that this is my job.
On Jess's signal, the crane lowers and wheels touch water.
Okay, we're going down. There's that familiar sound.
As the car sinks, Adam gulps one last lungful, and he's under. He stays zen as the car settles. Soon the pressure equalizes, and Adam hops out. So far, so good. But now comes the tricky part. Can Adam breathe from the tire to stay under until the baddies have left? Adam gulps the bubbles as they rush past his face, but he's in over his head, and soon grasping for the emergency air.
Ah, I didn't do it. I felt the car settle. I opened my eyes. I swam out. I still felt like I had plenty of air left. Got around to the tire, pulled off the tire valve. The tire valve is cleverly shaped to depress the Schrader valve. When I caught some water on that first breath, I tried it again, and at that point, I just didn't feel like I was going to get anything, so I went for the safety diver and his oxygen.
The air is not the problem, it's the water that goes along with it. So how do you actually sift that out without choking? Now, if you've got a choice of either making do with that air or die from somebody shooting you on the surface, you might figure something out, I'm not sure, but so far it looks kind of dodgy to me.
Maybe, but the MythBusters have never let kinda dodgy sink their schemes.
Before we call this one totally busted, although it seems pretty unlikely to me, I'd like to give it one more try.
And who are we to deny you, Adam? The Swatting sedan's raised for another dunking.
This time, Adam's going to stab the tire with a knife. Why that's going to do any better than the Schrader valve that's built into it, I'm not sure, but we have to, try all our options.
Here we go again. Adam's going under once more, and this time he's armed. By the time Adam punctures the tire with his pocket knife, he's been holding his breath for more than 1:40. This time, air surges from the slash. Adam tries several times to inhale, even turning down the emergency air for one last gasp attempt.
I was calm as a cucumber, man. I had plenty of time. Stabbed the tire, got plenty of air coming out. Breathing out of that, it's just really difficult. I could get not a lip lock, but I could get air coming in, but I just kept on getting water. There was no way I wasn't getting water, and given that, I couldn't take a really deep breath.
And these were ideal conditions. If this happened in real life, your car would most likely be at the bottom of a river or a lake, not a crystal clear swimming pool.
It's gonna be dark, the visibility's gonna be crap, the car might be upside down, your heart's gonna be pounding, you're gonna have a bloody face. We gotta call this one busted.
Yeah, it's myth busted.
Recently, for Lockpick of Death, the team went all Grand Theft Auto, breaking into cars for science.
You getting frustrated?
Frustration,
Because I am.
They busted the myth that an airbag detonation could launch a lockpick deep into your skull.
Oh, that is it.
Dripping blood!
And once that one went to air, the fan site exploded with another airbag myth. So, for myth evolution, here it is.
When you guys were in driving school, did you learn the 10 and 2 position?
Yeah, so hands on the steering wheel, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Yeah.
I thought that was just regulation. Apparently they don't even teach it anymore.
Why not?
Well, the myth is, it's because that position puts your thumbs in peril. If an airbag deploys, it can blow your thumbs clean off.
Sweet, that sounds dangerous.
It seems like kid stuff. 10 and 2 is the steering position we've all been taught. However, with the advent of airbags, driving instructors say it puts your thumbs in peril. So is this a bum steer? Or could an airbag explosion really take your thumbs with it?
Cool, okay. Well, we'll get Buster, set him up in a seat with the steering wheel, and get some airbags.
Well, since Buster can't really hold on to anything, I'm gonna make some molds of him holding steering wheel so we can actually keep those hands in place.
Sounds like a blast. They're going to put Buster in the driver's seat, give him flexible arms with ballistics gel hands, and fit the steering wheel with an airbag that the team can automatically trigger. So while Carrie gets to grips with the rig, Tori gives Buster a hand.
With this whole myth, we're testing to see if the airbags go off and your thumbs are in front of it, will they break your thumbs? If we just use the ballistics material, it's just rubber, it's gonna bend back. So what we need to do is put the fake bones inside there to see if, in fact, they will break your bones.
That way, there can be no bone of contention.
The urethane bones are now in position inside the hand mold. So what I'm gonna do is let that finish setting up, and then I'm gonna pour in the ballistics material to surround the bones.
While the hands get set, Tori gets stuck into casting his arms for Buster.
That bust just came out of nowhere. I didn't even see that bust.
Getting them on was easy, but when it's time to take them off, reality sets in.
I'm just getting concerned that I can't get these off.
Would it be funny if you broke your arm trying to get a cast off?
No. Yeah, that would be ironic.
Eventually, Tori regains the use of his arms and immediately puts both sets to good use. A couple of hours later, and there's the proof that all the effort was worth it.
Look at that. Yeah. That works perfect.
All that's left to do is add the hands, screw the arms onto Buster, and he'll be ready to hit the road. Well, almost.
The final thing is to, well, shut off the airbags. But before we get to doing that, I'm gonna run some extension wires all the way out to behind the blast shield. And the reason is that the airbags are explosive, so we don't want to be anywhere near here when we set them off.
The hands are in place, the rig is primed, and it's time for some Myth Evolution airbag action.
Now, are you sure you got the two right wires hooked up?
Well, either it's going to set off the airbag or it's going to signal a left turn. Either way, it should be exciting. Cool. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Whoa! Blew the hands right off the wheel.
It sure did, but did it blow the thumbs off the hands?
The thumbs are still on, though.
Check that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still connected.
His arm got torn off, but it looked like the airbag deployed like this and then pushed the arms out, but the thumbs were not in harm's way. They just let go.
Okay, well, you know, these thumbs are tucked under, and I know sometimes I drive like this, so maybe we should make a mold of this position.
All right, and then that way at least we'll have the thumbs in the, hopefully close to the path where the airbag's gonna shoot out.
Maybe if the thumbs stick out like a sore thumb, they'll have a better shot at this myth.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
What was that?
That looked pretty violent.
Pretty violent indeed. But did the thumbs hitch a ride with the airbag?
Thumbs are still on.
Yeah, they're not ripped off.
I look at the high speed, and it's clear the thumbs were going nowhere.
Just kind of pushed his arms off, though, but it's not ripping any thumbs off.
So far, no thumb busting, but the team isn't giving this myth the thumbs down just yet. This may be Myth Evolution, but we've got one cheeky revisit. So here it is.
Personally, I am glad to be doing speed camera again.
Why?
Well, last time I got to drive a $280,000 sports car at 120 miles an hour. Dude, I will take any excuse to do that again.
Oh, hold your horsepower there, buddy. The fans had huge problems with how we tested the speed camera.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, what were their problems?
Speed and the camera.
Can we break it down a little further?
Well, and beating the speed camera with speed, they complained that we didn't go fast enough. And as far as the plate blocker test, they complained that the angle of the view was incorrect. In other words, the camera wasn't high enough.
That's right. They said we were using the wrong camera, that it was at the wrong angle, and that it wasn't high enough, that we got everything wrong.
I guess we better try it again their way.
Previously, the team tried a whole raft of crafty ways to beat the speed camera. They put plate blockers to the test. Cling wrap, hairspray, and the commercial products just couldn't disguise the plate.
Plate blockers zip, speed camera 4.
And the team didn't stop there. They tried beating the camera with pure speed.
There's no way you can beat the speed camera, no matter how fast you're going.
However, the fans think they got it completely wrong. And to get this revisit on the road, they're heading back to the track.
How's it going, Adam? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. And speed camera expert Adam Teuton is here to keep an eye on the ticket tally.
I guess we have some fan dissatisfaction with the previous speed camera tests.
So what did we do wrong?
You name it. They had a problem with it.
The fans say that we made so many mistakes that we had to make a list to tackle them one by one. And at the top of the list of complaints was the tripod.
Hey, Adam. So, this rig is one of the things that fans had a real problem with. They wrote in and said that these things aren't mounted on tripods in the field.
Well, they're wrong and they're right. There are tripods, there are pole-mounted units, and vehicle-mounted units.
Now, one of the other things they had a problem with was they thought that the camera we were using was a much higher quality or higher resolution than the cameras that are used in the field.
That's not so. We use the same camera regardless of the application.
So the rig that you gave us is identical to one you'd put in the field?
Identical.
Okay.
But what about the height of the camera for the plate blockers?
So the third thing the fans had a problem with was they said our camera was mounted too low for the plate blockers to work effectively.
Whether you mount it at 5 or 10 feet, it's not going to have any effect.
You want to prove that?
Let's prove it.
Let's do it.
And to put his money where his mouth is, out comes the heavy machinery. The speed camera is a full 10 feet off the ground, just like a pole-mounted camera.
I know this looks like I'm sitting in a boom lift, but in fact, this is a pole-mounted speed camera. This is our answer to the fans who said that we screwed it up last time, that a camera 5 feet off the ground wasn't regulation. It was.
It looks just like the real thing. Imagine the boom lift isn't there. So, what's up first?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and put the magnifying plate on.
All right.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I see what you're about to say.
If I come down here, I can see it, but...
Yeah, from here it's perfect.
Well, maybe the fans are onto something. I mean, it does make it worse if you're looking at it at an angle.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Right, here's your motivation. You've just robbed a bank and you want to get away, so you've put a plate blocker on your license plate so you'll get away, escape all the cameras. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Jamie makes his getaway, and the Adams family prepare for test number 1.
All right, Adam, are you ready for the first test?
We're ready to roll.
Excellent. All right, Jamie, we are ready to roll on the magnifying plate blocker, test number 1. Go for it.
Jamie puts the pedal to the metal. But did the speed camera's higher vantage point make it harder to decipher the license plate?
So, Adam, what's the verdict?
Ticket, same as last time.
Really?
Yep.
Can you see all the letters?
You can see all and partial of the last.
Half of the last one. Well, they're definitely still going to fine you. That's a ticket.
I think
Let's
so.
move on to the next one.
There's no doubt about it. Jamie's got a ticket. Even with the camera at 10 feet as the fans demanded, the magnifying plate is still busted.
Well, I hope that's the last we see of this one.
And next,
glitter plate.
It's not just a Disco My Ride accessory. Apparently, the tiny particles in the plate reflect the camera flash, obscuring the license details. But according to the fans, it only works if the speed camera is pole mounted.
Jamie, we are good to go for the glitter plate. On your mark, over.
The glitter plate brings a new meaning to drag racing. And sure enough, the speed camera triggers.
All right, so what's the verdict on the glitter plate?
Ticket.
A ticket? You're kidding. That's shocking. This is earth-shattering news. Well, Jamie, the glitter plate is a ticket, so come on back. We got one more consumer-level thing to try over.
That's 2 for 2. So far, pole mounting the camera has made no difference to the plate blockers.
All right, next up, remember the commercial spray?
Didn't work.
We're gonna try it again.
Spray.
According to the instructions, just one application of the commercial spray and you can go incognito.
Jamie, we are good for the commercial spray speed test. Bring it on when you want.
Jamie zooms past the speed camera, but has the spray concealed his identity?
Adam, what's the verdict?
He's shooting blanks. Ticket.
No!
And once again, the plate is picture perfect.
How'd we do?
That was pretty definitive. All 3 of our commercial products failed completely the second time in a row. There was no difference between the camera mounted at 5 feet and the camera mounted at 10 feet.
Second time around, even with the pole-mounted speed camera, the results are the same. Plate blockers are still busted. But we're not done with the speed camera just yet. The guys have a secret weapon up their sleeves. Way back when Grant was Scotty, the team tested the tale that an MRI scan would cause your tattoo to explode. After putting their pork and bodies on the line with no sign of an explosion,
You're looking all right.
this myth was dumped in the busted bin. But the fans want to take this MRI myth one step further.
So how's this myth evolving?
Well, the fans think that tattoos aren't the only things that'll explode in the MRI.
What else?
The RFID implants.
Oh, radio frequency identification devices.
Like they put in my dog when I took him to the vet.
Yeah, but they're now starting to put them in people.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're talking about in the future putting them in soldiers as like digital dog tags. But right now the FDA is approving to put them into patients for medical records.
Actually, that makes sense. I mean, let's say someone's unconscious and they get into the emergency room, you could just scan them and find out their blood type or if they have any allergies.
Exactly.
So our fans think that they explode in the MRI.
Well, unlike the tattoos, there's metal in the RFIDs, so there is a possibility that it could get pulled out or even explode.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
So before the team implant an RFID tag into an unlucky volunteer, and scan them with an MRI to see if the implant explodes? Let's find out more about this new and booming technology from expert Ron Godovic.
Radio frequency ID is a technology that uses a reader that sends out a signal to a tag, and that tag actually reacts to that reader and sends back information about whatever the tag is on.
So an object or MythBuster that you want to identify is stuck with an RFID tag, which contains a microchip and antenna. Then, using radio waves, a reader can remotely detect and retrieve the information on the chip.
People are having these implanted in them?
Well, there has been several case studies now where there's a few hundred people out there who have had RFIDs implanted in them that will allow medical professionals to read information on their health.
Cue Tori Belleci, MD.
Can you prepare the patient?
And his able assistant, Nurse Imahara.
Marking pen.
Marking pen.
Iodine swab.
Iodine swab.
Syringe.
Syringe.
The RFID tag to be inserted in Porky the unfortunate pig.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to insert the chip.
Comes from VeriChip, a company on the cutting edge of these human implants.
Searching for chip, and we got it.
Hey, we found it.
You know, this is my first surgery ever, and I feel like it went pretty well. I didn't even go to med school either. All we have to do now is take it to the MRI and see if this thing explodes or gets ripped out of the skin.
Carrie, having recently injured her knee, which required an MRI scan, has found the perfect location for this test, 3T MRI, where Dr. Priest is allowing the team access to a state-of-the-art MRI scanner. And with Porky the pig in position, this is the moment of truth.
See that black spot in the middle?
That's the
That's
chip.
the chip.
Will the RFID tag explode or be ripped out by the MRI's massive magnet? Or will it be the myth that's busted?
So Porky's been in there for about 10 minutes. I haven't seen any movement, and there definitely wasn't an explosion.
With no sign of the ham going blam, the conclusion is obvious.
I could see how someone would think that if you have this RFID chip and you subject it to a strong electromagnetic field where it says no loose metal objects, that someone would think maybe it would explode. It's a glass capsule the size of a grain of rice, and it does contain metal. We've done the test. No explosion and no ripping out. Hey!
And it works.
Found it.
All right. Didn't damage it.
The chip came through unscathed, but the guys aren't ready to call it just yet.
In order to test this right, we need to put it in a real person to see if there's any movement, if the person feels any movement or they feel any heat.
Yeah, got a point.
Any takers?
Dr. Belleci and Nurse Imahara chickened out, so it's all down to Carrie. After the anesthetic is administered, Dr. Priest inserts the RFID tag. With this implant, medical personnel will be able to remotely access Carrie's healthcare history.
I feel so sci-fi.
But will that history include an arm lost in a science experiment? 2 days later, Carrie's arm is healed.
All right, blow me up, Doc.
And back at 3T MRI, Tori is predicting he'll soon have a one-armed colleague.
So we're back. We have Carrie's chip implanted. Now we're going to stick her in the MRI, and we're going to see what's going to happen. My feeling is it's probably going to explode, and she's going to lose her arm. I can't wait to see that.
Despite Tori's concerns, Carrie is soon prepped and ready.
Bye, Carrie.
And with the scan underway, Grant gets on the intercom to see how it's going.
Do you feel anything in your arm?
I'm trying to concentrate on that. I don't feel any movement.
And that's the nail in the coffin of this myth. Carrie emerges with 2 arms and the chip still in place and in working order.
All right, sci-fi girl, how do you feel about this myth?
I think it's busted.
I agree, it's busted. An MRI is not going to cause your RFID implant to explode.
Mind you, we did use RFIDs that were made for human implantation. If you were crazy enough to cut the one out of your credit card and possibly implant it, maybe it would work then.
You know what, though? There's a lot of conspiracy theories around these RFIDs. Like, can you steal someone's credit card information? Can you track people? I mean, we should test these, too.
Look, I think we're already on enough government watch lists. Let's just let this one go.
I think I agree.
The team has been testing the thumb-ripping yarn that an exploding airbag could sever your thumbs.
What?
And so far, it's airbag 0, thumbs 2.
Well, this myth is looking pretty busted so far. I mean, we've tried it with the thumbs tucked under and the thumbs pointed out, and so far, no damage.
Well, when those airbags go off, all it's doing is pulling the arms apart and causing the hands to release. Those thumbs aren't even in the path of the airbags.
Well, you know, when I was doing a little research for this myth, I came across this article where a woman who was holding her steering wheel sort of like that had her thumbs directly over the airbag, and when it deployed, it nearly severed her thumbs off.
So she was holding the steering wheel like this? That doesn't seem very logical.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make a mold of your hand in that position, and we'll test that one out too.
Now that's an enterprising idea. Because Tori is so very handy, and with the miracle of television, in the blink of an eye, Buster has another set of hands.
This new hand position places the thumb right over the airbag so that the seam of the airbag goes sort of like right past the thumb. I think this is the only chance we have at getting the severed thumb that was all thought to be for the 10 and 2 position.
So with the new hands in the new position, will the thumbs live long and prosper?
Buster with hands in the universal Vulcan greeting. In 3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
Violent.
The team goes in for a closer look, and this time there's some thumb damage.
You know what? It broke the urethane bone, and it's kind of ripped the thumb a little bit here. It didn't rip it off, but it's torn it back. Ouch.
A closer look at the high speed, and it's obvious the thumbs took the full force of the airbag.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. That totally bent that thumb backwards.
The airbag, the plastic part, that sharp edge goes right like that. It cuts into the thumb.
Yeah.
I would at least say that's probably going to be a broken thumb, because that's not the real regular position for a thumb to be in.
Buster's got some broken thumbs, but what does that mean for the myth?
Well, so it turns out, hold your thumbs directly over the airbag, and you sustain more damage.
Big surprise. But that's not the 10 and 2 position. And that's what this myth's about. And so this one's still busted.
We still have a bunch of airbags left, and before we totally finish this one out, there's still something I want to try. A friend of mine was in driving school, and she heard that your hands can be turned into deadly clubs if the airbag's deployed. Well, I mean, we already know that the 10 and 2 position, that's not going to happen. What if Buster was turning the wheel?
Cool, let's set him up and try it again.
I love this.
Severed thumbs at 10 and 2 is busted. But the team wants to know what would happen if the airbag went off mid-turn. At least, that's their excuse for another airbag detonation.
I mean, this is as if the guy's trying to steer out of the way to avoid the accident, and then blood-ow, his hand becomes a weapon and smashes him in the head.
Buster's all set to go clubbing.
In 3, 2, 1.
Looks like we broke the camera.
Oh, he smacked himself.
And the high speed is ugly.
Oh, his hand rips. Whoa!
Straight in the head.
He punched himself in the face.
Oh, yeah.
So, let this be a lesson. If you're gonna get in a wreck and your airbag's gonna go off, don't have your arm over the steering wheel.
Don't have your thumbs over the airbag. Don't have your hands over the airbag. Have nothing over the airbag if you have that kind of time to figure that out.
Otherwise, uppercut. Right across the face.
That was great.
Ouch! For myth evolution, the ninja is making a comeback. The myth goes that a modern ninja can use his bare palm to deflect a speeding bullet. So could the Shadow Warrior slap a slug? To find out, the team are back at the range for Ninja versus 9mm. Yesterday, the gun rig kept moving, sending bullets every which way. So today, they've got a plan to fix it. They've got a heavier base to stop it jumping, moved the rig to the concrete for stability, and adjusted the trigger for accuracy.
New day, new target. Hopefully, we can get these bullets to go in the same place more than once.
Clear to fire? Clear to fire. Okay. Swatting test in 3, 2, 1.
Whoops. A little lick.
Okay, that's okay.
Just
okay.
a little slow, but that's good.
That's good.
The bullet was on target, but the Ninja SWAT bot just wasn't quick enough to slap the slug. So Grant gives the bot a boost.
The hand is still too slow. So we're gonna up the PSI. And this is way beyond reality now, but it's all about slapping the bullet.
At 55 psi, the arm will swing at more than twice human speed. And to make sure the SWAT bot doesn't jump the gun, they'll add a delay.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
Oh! We killed the Ninja! Ninja down!
Something happened.
The Ninja is down, but did the bot slap the bullet first?
You know, we did hit the hand, but what's interesting is the bullet still landed in the area where it's been hitting on the target.
As if it hasn't been deflected at all, it just went straight through the hand.
Exactly.
It's the shot that broke the Ninja's back, but the hand swung too early to slap the bullet. For the next test, Grant dials in the timer.
In 3, 2, 1. I think something might have happened. That looks like a really strange big splatter.
Was it third time lucky? Did the SWAT bot slap the bullet?
Oh, look! Yeah! Right there! That is so it! We have a perfect skim right across the meaty part of the hand. We definitely slapped the bullet.
Yeah, but look, there's a big hole in this Ninja. So this Ninja is still dead, and it didn't deflect the bullet at all.
One dead Ninja. I think that says something right there.
The palm slapped the slug, but the hand couldn't make the bullet deviate from its deadly trajectory. One moment the bullet is skimming the palm, the next it's in the Ninja.
You know what? As much as I love Ninjas, this one's totally busted. I mean, there's just no way you can swat a bullet with your hand.
I don't know, but something tells me the fans are not going to be happy that we busted this without a real Ninja.
Okay, fine. Then here's an open invitation. If you happen to be a ninja and you can swat away a bullet with your bare hand, please come down to MythBusters and we'll put you on TV.
Dude, that'd be cool. We could like shoot at them and see if they can swat the bullets.
No, that's a bad idea. That's a very bad idea.
It's Myth Evolution, and the boys have been revisiting Beat the Speed Camera. They've busted the plate blockers once again, but there's still one problem that the fans want addressed, and that is speed.
We're still getting mail that says you can beat the speed camera through speed alone.
Yeah, I heard that a car show in the UK did it.
Yeah, they did it at 180 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yeah, but the law in the US and the UK is different. In the UK, the camera is required to take 2 pictures of the car in order to issue a ticket.
Well, here in the US, you only need 1 photo, and so that actually makes it harder to beat the speed camera with speed alone.
Yeah, apparently the camera that we're using has been tested to speeds up to 200 miles per hour successfully.
Where are we going to get a car that goes over 200 miles an hour?
I wonder.
Fortunately, the team don't have to look very far. Introducing the Beast. Weighing in at 2,400 pounds and at over 19 feet long, this is no ordinary car. This beast can reach speeds of up to 300 miles per hour.
This thing is beautiful. I think I'm gonna cry.
It's an engine with a chair on it.
It is, it's, yeah.
The wheels are kind of like beside the point.
Totally ancillary.
And the man in the helmet is Jeff Atamian. With over 30 years of drag racing experience, he's the right man with the perfect car. If anything can beat the speed camera with speed, this is it.
All right, Adam, we got the fastest car we can find in California. Are you ready for this?
Ready as I'll ever be.
You think we're gonna catch it?
I think so.
The Beast is in position, and the speed camera is set. Gentlemen, start your jet engines.
I think he's got it warmed
Oh,
up.
whoa, here.
There it goes.
The Beast hurdles down the strip, only slowing once its 2 16-foot parachutes are deployed.
Dude, that was like getting punched in the chest. Oh my God, I can't wait to find out if that was a ticket.
It's the moment of truth.
No picture. No picture?
Nope. So the car didn't trip the camera, that means there's no ticket.
No ticket.
No ticket. We found the speed.
So the system was working properly, but the car was going too fast for the sensors to pick it up.
There was not enough to trigger the camera.
So there you have it, a massive 245 miles an hour, and you can beat the speed camera.
Something tells me, though, there'd be a lot of other signs that someone was breaking the speed limit. I don't know, the broken windows in the neighborhood, all the people with hearing damage bleeding from their ears running to the hospital. Let's see, all the houses on fire. Something tells me, and when you came upon a car like the Beast, you'd think, this is a likely candidate.
A likely candidate indeed. But unfortunately, a jet-propelled car does have its drawbacks.
Where's the satellite radio? Where's the cup holder? This is very primitive.
It may be primitive, but it got away scot-free. Although Adam Teuton's still thinking he can catch it. With a few tweaks to the camera, will he be able to book the Beast? Time for take 2.
Wow! That's on purpose. Like, that's what's supposed to happen.
Jeff unleashes the Beast once again.
I swear he was going faster that time.
I think so.
I feel like it's going to be even faster.
It probably was, but we'll never know for sure. Unfortunately for Adam Teuton,
no picture, no ticket, end of story.
The speed camera missed the Beast entirely.
That thing was going so fast, that Beast thing there, that it was in and out of the range of the camera before it knew what was going on. It was like it wasn't there. Practically speaking, and of course it's not happening. You're not driving a car with a rocket engine or a jet engine or, you know, any afterburners or anything like that on the highway, and so you might as well forget about it, but it is possible.
It's possible, yes, but legal, no.
It turns out there is a way to beat the speed camera.
Yeah, pure, raw, unadulterated speed.
Rocket-powered, jet-powered, impossibly loud speed, yeah.
Yeah, give or take 200-300 miles an hour, you can beat the speed camera.
Yeah, however ungainly the solution is, we made it happen. I think our work here is done.
Okay, let's get out of here.
On this episode of MythBusters, it's martial arts mayhem.
That's intense, man.
As Adam and Jamie focus once again on the secret world of ninja.
Pain is your friend.
To check out the 1-inch punch. Then Tori, Carrie, and Grant explore the myth of the underwater blowpipe assassin.
Ninja! Yeah!
And the boys settle once and for all if a real ninja can snatch an arrow.
Archers, draw.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage. And Jamie Heineman.
If I'm really good, I'll get 9 fish.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Joining them, Grant Imahara.
I be the scurvy dog.
Tori Belleci.
That bus just came out of nowhere.
And Carrie Byron.
But right on the money, Penny.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
You know, there are a lot easier ways to kill a fly.
Yes, but none more precise than the ninja method.
I suppose that means that we're doing ninja myths again?
Indeed you are correct. Flying walrus. 3 is the number of myths we must test in this journey. The first is underwater blow dart assassination. The second would be the famous 1-inch punch. And the third, they say we must catch an arrow again, for we got this wrong the first time.
Nice work.
Why, thank you.
Unlike the samurai, ninjas don't have a fighting code. They just do whatever it takes to get the job done. Their ruthless dispatch of enemies spawned a rich mythology, and that's why they're familiar territory to the MythBusters. But Ninja Rep took a nosedive when Adam and Jamie proved ninjas couldn't walk on water or catch a sword with their bare hands.
Slides right through.
And it was 0 for 3 when the boys proved Shadow Warriors had no show of catching a full flight arrow.
Myth is busted. This is what it would take to catch an arrow.
But the fans disagreed, and hell hath no fury like a ninja fan scorned.
What did they say we got wrong?
Well, the fans complained that our robo-arrow catching hand was way too close to our robo-arrow shooting bow, and that if it was farther away, they reasoned the arrow would be going slower, and that would make it easier to catch.
That's easy enough to test. Is that it?
Sadly, no. Tons of people wrote us and said they've seen footage of people catching arrows. Why didn't we bring one of those people onto the show to test with?
So we've got to get a real ninja and bring him on the show.
I don't know where we're going to find one, but yeah, I think we have to.
We'll let them find that ninja later and start with the arrow speed test.
One of the primary complaints was that we were firing all of our arrows for the arrow catch test from too close, from point-blank range, and that if the arrows were going from farther away, they'd be going slower and thus be easier to catch. Well, our understanding of the physics is there's very little difference between 10 feet and 50 feet, and we're about to do some tests that hopefully will prove that.
To find out, Jamie will fire arrows at increments of 10 feet.
In this test, we're going to use the high-speed camera and this scale to measure the speed of the arrow right as it hits the target.
Ready to take the first shot from point blank?
I am.
Jamie's going to use a full-strength pull on each arrow.
All right, let's go to 20 feet.
To make sure they all travel at maximum velocity.
That's it.
And 60 feet.
Well, I think you killed something, sir.
Now, where did that arrow go?
All right, this is 70 feet.
I thought this was a ninja special, not night special.
This is what I had lying around. Go!
That ought to work.
So, what did they find out?
Well, we did pretty good. There's effectively no difference. You were consistently between 171 and 179 miles per hour.
So what this means for our tests is that it doesn't matter how far away the shooter is from the catcher. The arrow is going to be going about the same speed.
And that means the iron fist in the leather glove experiment gets the thumbs up.
Those results were pretty clear.
They were. It's true. This is something we've known about for a while, and I'm really glad we got to show it on the show, that the speed of an aerodynamic projectile like an arrow has a very low drop-off in speed from the moment it leaves the shooter to the moment it hits its target.
That means we were right, and the fans were wrong.
I guess if you want to harp on that, yes, that's true. Now I think we can put this one away, and it's time to bring out our real ninja.
Just wait till you meet him.
Getting an elusive Shadow Warrior wasn't easy. But the MythBusters research team not only tracked one down, they got the best in the world.
Our ninja has black belt certifications in just about every form of martial arts I've ever heard of, and quite a few I haven't.
He totally has it where it counts. He's a reaction training specialist. He's held over 20 Guinness World Records in this field.
He's hot stuff.
Have you seen our ninja?
No, but I'm not sure we'd know whether he was here or not.
Hi, I'm your ninja. I'm Anthony Kelly.
You don't look much like a ninja.
No, I only have my street clothes on. Give me 1 second.
Wow.
That's more like it.
Okay, fans, you, the viewers, demanded we get a real ninja. And despite his non-ninja appearance and Australian accent, he is the best in the business.
Well, Anthony might not look like your classic idea of a ninja, but don't take our word for it. We're gonna put him into our holodeck here and run him through some of his paces to see what he can do.
So is our ninja fast enough to catch a full-speed arrow? Well, there's only one way to find out. See if he can catch tennis balls.
A thoughtful person might just ask, what does catching one of these have to do with catching one of these? Well, it's all about reaction time, and Anthony has fast reflexes. That's what this is about.
So before the ninja catches any arrows, they're going to measure the speed of his handiwork.
Okay, I'm gonna keep time on the stopwatch and count on the clicker.
All right, let's go, boys.
He's so ready.
Now, catching tennis balls may not seem all that hard.
And go!
But those balls are traveling at 85 miles an hour.
That's more or less the speed of a major league fastball. But at 26 feet away, he's standing twice as close to the pitcher. 15. The ninja has less than a fifth of a second to react. If he blinks, he'll miss it.
5 seconds.
22. And time.
Wow. Oh, goodness me.
22.
This could be a new world record.
It sure is.
We have it clear as day on high-speed camera, Anthony catching that ball as it comes into him. Apparently, he's set a new world record. We'll see how Adam does.
A ninja arrow is hot stuff. But can a shadow warrior catch one in full flight? To find out, a real ninja's been put through his reaction paces with tennis balls.
21.
But Adam didn't think it looked too difficult.
I have to try this. Can I try this?
And Jamie's more than happy to oblige.
We all know I don't have any particular problem with administering a little pain to Adam. You said you'd do it.
I will. I'm gonna let a couple go by me and then you start.
Now, Adam's a tad apprehensive. Because the last time he was on the receiving end of Jamie and a machine...
I'm ready, Jamie. Oh!
Jamie almost tore him a new belly button.
I keep forgetting that you have no heart or soul.
So branding Adam with balls...
Dude!
...is Jamie's idea of fun.
Knock yourself out.
Here we go. Oh, crap, that's so fast. Oh, ow! Oh!
Pain is your friend.
Oh! Ah, come on! Oh! The first time they bounce off your hands, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then one hits you in the chest. And you're like, oh, ah, that hurts. Ow! Oh, God!
You don't want pain? Catch the freaking ball.
Oh, ow! God, it hurts more every time.
Adam's sore. But Jamie's satisfied.
Ow! That's intense, man. They come fast. You want to try it?
No.
Ooh. Dude, I'm all red. It's not as bad as the paintball, but it's definitely gonna hurt.
Replays of Adam's slow-motion suffering make it pretty clear why he won't be graduating ninja school anytime soon.
This absolutely confirms why we brought Anthony on the show. And this is why I'm no longer the one trying to catch arrows.
So ninjas, what do we got?
This is a classic ninja myth that's all about assassination.
But this is specifically an underwater ambush.
So imagine you have a target. The only time he's unprotected is when he takes his morning walk by the lake.
Okay.
So you grab some poison darts and a blowgun, you hang out underneath the water, and when your target walks by, you attack.
So you're using your blow dart gun as a breathing tube.
Exactly.
That's wild.
It's like a ninja.
In their art of stealth arsenal, the blowgun, or fukiya, was a ninja's deadly weapon. But does the myth of doubling as a snorkel hold water? The story goes, a shadow warrior would slip into a pond, stay hidden for hours, breathing easy through his blow tube. When his unsuspecting target finally turned up, the ninja's poison dart would quickly carry out its carnage.
All right, this one's pretty complicated, so let's break it down into its elements.
All right, well, first of all, we need to see how long somebody can stay underwater, because if you're underneath the water for a long period of time, there's a possibility you could get hypothermia.
And we need to see if we can build an accurate blowgun using only the materials that an ancient ninja would have.
And we need to find out if you can aim underwater, because you need to correct for refraction.
All right, well, then the hard part is gonna be breathing through the blowgun, loading the dart while you're underneath the water, and then making that lethal shot.
Okay, this is gonna be tough.
Well, if it was easy being a ninja, anybody could do it.
So first up, Tori's going to put his life on the line.
Stop right there, that's good.
Today, we're going to test exposure to cold water. And to do that, Tori has kindly volunteered to jump into our tank of 66-degree temperature water.
That's about the average temperature of a lake in Japan during fall. But they're not throwing Tori completely in at the deep end.
Here you go, buddy.
Ew, it smells too.
He will have some protection.
Well, apparently, ninjas used to rub animal fat all over their bodies and then put a leather suit on before they got into cold water to act as like a wetsuit. Great, not only am I uncomfortable, I look like a complete idiot.
Not a complete idiot. For that, you need one more thing.
This is the ninja hood. This
Do I
part
really
goes...
have to wear this?
Well, this
Yeah.
is,
I mean, really.
Yes, you do, Tori. You lose up to 50% of your body heat through your head. And in your battle with the elements, you'll need all the help you can get.
All right, you're gonna write on this board how you feel. 1 is you're okay, you're good to go, all the way up to 10, which is I think I've got hypothermia, get me out of here now.
Sounds easy enough.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Just stay underwater until you're almost dead.
Quite honestly, under that cold water, I don't think Tori's gonna last very long. I feel like, 10, 15 minutes, and he's just gonna be cold and have to get out.
In water this cold, he could die in as little as 2 hours. And just 10 minutes in, Tori's already struggling.
Let's ask him what number he's at.
5. He's colder.
In case Tori hits real trouble, paramedics are on standby. They know what to look for.
Symptoms of hypothermia would include starting to shiver, lethargy, being confused, lack of coordination.
Other than the shivering, that's how he is normally, so it's gonna be a little tough for us to tell.
It's even harder to pick when he's underwater, which he's now been for 45 chilly minutes.
7.
Okay, he's pretty cold.
He's pretty uncomfortable.
In water this cold, Tori's losing body heat 32 times faster than he would normally.
His breathing's really getting ragged.
And the shaking's getting worse.
Oh, he's coming up. He's coming up. Okay.
Okay. Oh, that's it.
All right.
Okay, quick, let's get your temperature.
Okay, first thing.
Carrie and Grant need to check if he's critical
All the water out of your mouth?
to see whether he can recover on his own or to call in the cavalry.
You can get out now.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Now, given that Tori's just, a regular guy of average health, that is a very good performance.
It was harder than I thought it was gonna be. The longer I was in there, the harder it was to breathe.
But the $64,000 question is, could he aim and fire a blowgun?
As a trained ninja, you could probably shoot somebody with a dart right now.
You lasted an hour. I didn't think it would be that long.
Considering you don't have any cold water training, that looks pretty good for this myth.
Yeah, so we just did the exposure test. Now on to the fun part.
That wasn't the fun part?
No, now we're gonna do the blowgun test.
Yes! Yes!
All good ninja movies have a showdown, and the MythBusters Ninja Special is no different. So far, they've learned their ninja has super fast reflexes.
22!
But can he catch an arrow?
So our ninja feels pretty confident that he can catch an arrow. Now, maybe holding 7 world's records in catching stuff and the fact that he calls himself the arrow catcher has something to do with that, but that's not good enough for us. We've got to see it.
Before I start shooting at Anthony, I think I need a little target practice.
Now, unlike a real battle, the ninja has put in a request.
Anthony wants me to stand exactly 26 feet away. And and fire past him, not directly at him.
How's it going, Jude? You hitting the dot?
I'm getting them bunched in pretty tight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready for taking a crack at the real ninja?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get Anthony.
Anthony's also requested I don't do a full draw,
Ready for you, sir.
to release my arrows at only about 1/2 to 3/4 strength.
So this is the moment the fans have been waiting for. Will Ninja Dom be vindicated or shamed? Can a real ninja really catch an arrow? That'd be a no. But he's a ninja. He's not about to give up without a fight.
Jamie's arrows are traveling about 120 miles an hour. So at 26 feet, our ninja has about 1/8 of a second to react.
He missed again. This sure is a tough challenge, and fast looking like myth busted.
Cha! Wow, dropped it.
Until finally, he got one.
Nice catch.
And now he's got his eye in.
Oh, ninja! The ninja caught the arrow. Maybe the fans were right.
Our ninja was in fact able to catch an arrow, which is impressive. But we should note that it was at a set distance. I wasn't doing a full draw on the bow. I was precisely controlling the situation to give him the arrow exactly where he needed it.
But catch it he did. So maybe it's time to break out a slice of humble pie.
Our ninja caught the arrow. Are you feeling vindicated now? Our ninja caught the arrow? Hold on, don't get so cocky, buddy. We got a lot in store for that ninja to come.
Blowpipes are a great assassination accessory. But can a ninja use one to perform underwater slaughter? Tori's already beaten exposure.
Oh, that's it.
All right.
Okay.
So now it's on to the blowpipes.
So we've got exposure. The next test is accuracy.
Okay, let's make blowguns and blow darts.
Okay.
Just for fun, let's have a little contest and see how much ninjosity you actually have.
I think there should be some rules, though. Like, the blowgun itself should blend into the pond, so natural materials only.
How much time do we have?
End of the day.
All right. Good crack. All right.
With ninja blueprints thin on the ground, it'll be everyone for themselves to use their ninjanuity to make a winning weapon.
It's not a game of how hard you hit. It's how accurate you are.
There's a lot at stake, because the winner will be the underwater assassin.
I know I'm the best ninja. Come on. I come from a long line of ninjas.
I used to make blow darts when I was a kid.
I think as far as making blow darts goes, I'm totally going to kick ass.
There's a lot of hot air being blown around. Hopefully, some of it will go down their blowpipes. Now, building a bamboo blowgun is tricky.
Bamboo grows in sections with joints, so you have to remove the bumps and notches to make sure the dart won't catch in the barrel or lose air around the sides.
Tori and Grant are done. Meanwhile, Carrie's decided the non-cheating rule doesn't apply to her.
You may have noticed I put a metal tube inside of my bamboo blowgun, and that might be considered cheating. I mean, metal is natural. It does come from this earth, so not entirely cheating.
3 different blowguns, 3 different ninjas. Only one will win the right to be the underwater assassin.
Hi. First rule of ninjas is you do not talk about ninjas.
Second rule of ninjas, we get 3 darts each, and we aim for the neck.
Okay, and whoever gets the closest gets to be the master ninja.
The darts they're using are similar, and the test's supposed to be about blowgun accuracy,
All the kids in my neighborhood were afraid of me.
not blowhard ability.
My kung fu was better than anyone's. All right, here's dart number 1.
accurate if you're aiming for the background.
That's 3 darts close, but no cigar. Now, Grant's natural material blowgun has had a last-minute alteration.
Well, if you want accuracy, you should try
All right.
the laser sight. Grant's got a laser sight on his.
Wait a minute.
I know!
Did ninjas have lasers?
Hey, no. Modern ninjas do.
Laser sights have some advantages and some disadvantages.
Oh, don't look out in the barrel! Don't look down the barrel! Oh!
It's a self-sabotaging blow dart gun.
All right, step up to the plate.
I gotta save the palace. Step back. Step back.
If Carrie can't score, they'll have no weapon to test the myth.
Oh! In the face! Oh!
That is in the exact center.
She's like a ninja.
Aw, 2 out of
Nice
3
work.
ain't bad.
I think you definitely won.
I totally cheated. I've got a tube in there.
What?
What? Oh, you cheated!
Coming from the man with the laser sight!
Now, there are sore losers,
I'm Mr. Ninja.
and then there's Grant and Tori.
See that? That's without cheating.
You know, Carrie might be the master ninja now, but we'll see tomorrow when she's underwater.
They're really mad. They're kind of scaring me now.
Adam and Jamie are pitting science against the Shadow Warrior. So far, the ninja has proven he can indeed catch an arrow.
Well, thanks, Jamie.
But even before the fan chorus of Told You So's had subsided, the MythBusters were flagging a foul.
So how did he do? Did our ninja catch the arrow?
Well, technically yes, but he had some requirements. I had to stand at a set distance. I had to shoot the arrow in front of him where his hand was going to be, not at him. And I couldn't pull the bow back to its full draw. I had to kind of do it like this.
Yeah, I think what we need to do is give our fans a cold, hard dose of battle-hardened reality. Those bows need to be drawn at full strength. Those arrows need to be aimed directly at our ninja, and he can't know from which direction the deadly arrow is going to come.
Basically, you're trying to kill him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's hope the ninja has good health insurance.
Look, our ninja caught the arrow. He totally did. But that's not the myth we're talking about. We're talking about a ninja in battle. He hears an arrow being released from its string. He plucks it out of the air. That's what we want to see, and that's the kind of scenario we're about to set up for Anthony.
To test the ninja's maximum mettle, Adam and Jamie have created a battle zone.
In a real battle situation, there may be multiple archers, and you're not going to know who's firing when. So that's what we've got to replicate next.
The plan is to use 3 archers, Jamie and 2 secret shooters, all firing straight at the ninja's body.
Soon our ninja will know. The MythBusters Challenge!
This time, Adam's making damn sure the odds are stacked in his favor. His secret shooters are the ninja's nemesis, other ninjas.
These are our ninja archers. I can't tell you who they are. If you knew, you'd already be dead.
Now, there's just one slight problem with firing lethal arrows at a ninja. It's that they are, well, lethal. That seriously needs sorting. So back at base, Adam's building some less than lethal arrows.
All right, non-lethal arrow test number 1.
Adam's firing his crossbow from 15 feet.
What? That's not what I wanted to see.
And not very non-lethal.
That right there is a problem.
Luckily, there's a plan B.
It's much harder rubber. It's much denser. We'll see. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Adam's arrow went into the ninja, but the lethal metal tip didn't.
Oh! It didn't go through the thing.
It seems safe, but he won't be the one on the not-so-pointy end. That's the ninja's job.
Let me show you what it does when I fire.
Okay, yeah. Ow! That hit me in the eye. You're supposed to hit me in the chest.
So I'm wondering, you think it bounces back, it doesn't penetrate, if you feel like you could survive that?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty tough, but look, let's try it. How about we use a bulletproof vest first of all?
Terrific.
We're not sure bulletproof vests were part of the traditional ninja's weaponry.
That's where we're going.
But then we're not the ones being shot at point-blank range.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, non-lethal arrow test into a bulletproof vest in 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, I think you missed.
I missed the X. How did that feel?
Yeah, it's okay.
You want to try it without the vest?
Let's have a go.
Okay. He's bold.
Bold and dangerous. Remember, don't try this at home.
All right, shall we make a second target?
Yeah, right here.
I'll hit this one this time.
Yeah, okay.
Right there. Cool. I'm not going to pull all the way back on this. I'll just pull a little bit back and we'll ramp it up as we go.
Let's go.
This is non-lethal arrow into a real ninja, point blank range in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay, let's go full strength.
You heard him. Okay, this is for real. This is full strength. Ha! Non-lethal arrow into a real ninja in 3, 2, 1.
Eesh! Ooh,
You're still alive. How did it feel?
Yeah, it's like a paintball bullet. It's quite soft.
And if anyone knows how sore that is, it's Adam.
I'm ready, Jamie. Well, our ninja's a pretty good sport. He managed to take a hit both soft and hard with our non-lethal arrow, and he's still walking around. So it looks like we have exactly what we need for the MythBusters Ninja Challenge.
With rubber-tipped arrows, the ninja won't die. But will he be able to catch them and defeat the forces of evil ranged against them?
Our ninja has proved his skill with a single archer and a single arrow. Now it's time to find out how he fares against 3 archers and 3 arrows.
It's a classic Shadow Warrior showdown. A lone ninja.
Everybody's ready?
Evil assassins at every turn. And Jamie.
Archers, draw.
If this were a movie, the ninja's victory would be assured. But this isn't a movie. It's more like a firing squad.
What?
And the ninja just took 3 direct hits.
Okay, stand down.
Well, Anthony is absolutely a good sport. But so far under battle conditions, it's not looking good for the myth. No arrows have been caught.
Archers, draw.
At this range, with no cover, the ninja is a sitting duck. So Adam decides to give him a bit more room to move.
Okay, all right, stand down.
In the interest of giving Anthony an even better chance, I'm going to back up all 3 of the archers 10 paces, another 10 meters, so they'll all be at about 60 feet away from him before they fire.
At a greater distance, the archers are less accurate. And the ninja gets close, but still can't quite get a grip.
All right, stand down. Let's reset.
The myth is looking like it's totally busted. But to settle it once and for all, Adam has one more option.
I want to give Anthony the best chance of success at this, so I'm going to have the archers all holding their arrows down until they fire, so he'll actually have a little bit of lead time seeing the flutter of their bow before they fire.
He finally caught one. Fair and square. So is it a case of myth busted or plausible?
In the battle scenario, Anthony was in fact able to catch an arrow. Although, in a real battle situation, you only have one chance. And Anthony took a number of hits before he got it right.
Our ninja did spectacularly when he could see an archer go up and release. He had the time to anticipate. But without that, I think we'd have one dead ninja.
When it comes to fighting underwater, you can do it the hard way or the ninja way. Use your blowpipe as a breathing tube and fire a poison dart into your victim.
So despite the cheating, we did establish that it's possible to make an accurate blowgun using only natural materials.
We also showed that you could stay underneath the water for an hour, which would be plenty of time for you to wait for your enemy to come by.
So I guess it's time to put it all together.
This is where it gets really hard, because underwater, refraction's gonna distort your aim.
And even if you could overcome the refraction, you still have to load the dart in the blowgun while breathing.
And then you have to do all this without getting water in your blowgun, staying underneath the water, and causing no ripples whatsoever.
Do you think we could even do this?
I don't know.
It's gonna be fun, though.
With carp ponds hard to come by, Tori and Grant ninja up the local pool, while Carrie changes into something less comfortable.
All right, so how are we gonna test this one?
All right, well, since this is all about accuracy, I think what you should do is put the dart in the tube first while you're above water, and then hop down, under, do it that way.
All right, get in the water.
As the winner from yesterday's test, it's Carrie's job to take aim from under the water where things may not be so clear.
It's a different thing when you're above water versus being underwater because of refraction, which, if we're correct, will probably make it very difficult to actually aim for a target and hit it.
The problem for our trespassing assassin is the emperor she's aiming at isn't where he appears to be. That's because light travels at different speeds through water and air, getting bent out of shape as it passes from one to the other. Although she's still a dead-eye shot above water,
That's right where I was going for!
under the water, Carrie will be guessing where to fire.
Sorry!
She's missed by a mile.
It's really blurry.
Now remember, Carrie's only fighting refraction here. Breathing through the blowgun comes later.
Whoa! You hit the pole!
It was high.
Yeah, lower your aim a little
Oh,
bit.
wow, I thought I was way lower than that.
All right, refraction aim test, take 3.
So will it be third time lucky?
Oh, that's a great shot.
A really good shot, and that was only your 3rd try.
Ah, the sweet smell of success.
The refraction test went so much better than I expected. I thought that maybe I could hit the target, but I didn't think I could sit underwater, see the target, and really aim for it.
They've got traction on refraction, but what about breathing below before they blow? That's their ultimate challenge.
In the interest of a bigger sample size, I think we should all do this, so I think you should go ninja up.
Yeah, time to be ninjas.
Once again, like thieves in the night, our stealth warriors sneakily slip into action. Well, one of them anyway.
Now, we've already proven that you can stand the cold. Carrie is compensated for refraction and her targeting's right on. Now it's time to put everything together and do it all at once and see if it's really possible.
And 3, 2, 1.
This is it. This is why our would-be assassins are here. To see if they can breathe through their blowguns long enough to get a secret shot at their hapless victim. And for this experiment, long enough is 10 minutes.
Now we've tested all the elements. Now the final test is to see if we can load our dart underneath the water and then fire and hit our target.
This is the really hard part. Feeding, then firing their darts out of a tube they're supposed to be breathing through. Trouble is, once you take your mouth away, the water rushes in. And your blowgun becomes a water pistol.
Where'd it go?
I don't know.
I don't see any darts in the dummy.
I shot mine first, so I got to see what happened with both of yours. All the darts went really low, and yours didn't even make it out of the pool.
It's a no-show from the big blow. Do our ninjas lack the knack? Is the task too big an ask?
Next is the Ninja 1-inch punch.
Made famous by the legendary Bruce Lee.
Exactly the one. The myth is that in the right hands, a ninja whose fist is only this far away can still floor an opponent. And we're in luck because our ninja has been trained in the one-inch punch by one of Bruce Lee's own students.
There are many ways to throw a punch. Some longer than others. But it's that Bruce Lee martial arts marvel, the one-inch punch, that was reputed to be a close combat knockout weapon. But is it fact or fanciful fiction? Now, before they test the ninja's one-inch weapon, Adam and Jamie want to measure how hard a normal punch is.
Give me your best shot, come on!
Last time punches were thrown, Adam got to sock Jamie.
Ready?
Oh, that was a hard one.
So it's Jamie's turn to thump Adam, and then see how his full-force punch stacks up against the ninja's one-inch wonder.
Now, there's been some concern from our insurance company about getting punched in the chest because it's where your heart is. That's why I'm wearing this big red man suit. Then we've got a load plate, and then we've got some padding on the load plate to protect Jamie's sensitive hands, because in his spare time, he's a hand model.
Whoops.
Oh, there he is.
Well, if he wasn't mad enough to punch Adam out before, he sure is now. So, just what sort of punch does Jamie pack?
Give me a full force punch.
It's payback time.
What was the rating?
325 pounds.
At 325 pounds, if Jamie's fist had been delivered to Adam's jaw, it'd be a knockout.
Ow.
With their baseline set, it's time to see how many pounds of punch the ninja can muster from only 1 inch away.
Okay, Adam, are you ready?
Give it everything you got. Dennis, what was the reading?
153.
That's half of what Jamie racked up at full throttle.
But still, not hugely powerful.
Yeah, but is the one-inch punch actually a weapon in the ninja's arsenal?
Yes, it is, but more common is the 3-inch power punch. Let me demonstrate that for you. Okay, it goes like this. The hand rolls in and we hit here like so.
Okay. I'm ready if you are.
Okay.
210 pounds.
210.
Now we're getting better.
The high speed shows the force of the punch. And at 2/3 the power of Jamie's knockout blow, it'd more than likely floor an opponent. But the ninja says 1 and 3-inch punches are rarely used on their own. They're just part of the grab bag of precision punching that ninjas have at their fingertips.
Yeah, wow.
Look at that.
But where the ninja's precision punching really showed was when he broke the last of 3 boards, leaving the first 2 intact. Imagine what had happened to your internal organs if you were on the receiving end of this. And that was one punch.
No more of that.
Even Jamie couldn't match.
I don't see any damage, Jamie. Except to you.
How are we going to call the 1-inch punch?
I'd have to say it's plausible. While it'll never be as powerful as a full-on punch, Anthony was actually able to generate an impressive amount of force at that range.
I agree. With the proper amount of training and catching your opponent off guard, you could totally knock someone down with what he did. I say plausible.
Plausible.
Laying an ambush above ground is hard enough. But can a ninja blowgun-breathing assassin do it from underwater? That's what Tori, Carrie, and Grant are testing. But so far, all they've blown out of the water is more water.
All right, we're gonna have to blow harder. Let's do it again.
Actually, I was thinking of this. You've only got poison at the tip, right? So what if you have the end in your mouth and you kind of hold on to it like this with your teeth, and then you breathe through your teeth, and then you load it. That way there's never a water transition.
Sure, whatever works.
You wanna try that?
We need to assassinate this guy. Okay.
So let's pucker up and see if breathing through clenched teeth is the ninja way to deliver death to the dummy. That's a miss from Tori. And Carrie's cheating blowpipe has fallen to bits.
Oh, it didn't work out for me.
So it's all up to Grant.
Oh, yeah! He did it! Yeah! Ninja! Yeah! Assassination accomplished! I hit it!
Good job.
Grant scored a direct hit, and spurred on by a success, the team goes for take two. That's another miss from Tori. But Carrie's dead on target. And so is Grant.
Woo! He's assassinated!
Oh, I hit him in the face! We killed him!
We got him!
Yeah!
This is totally plausible. We covered all the elements.
You can survive the exposure to the cold.
And you can overcome refraction.
You know what? You put all three of us together, you get a ninja.
A very scary ninja. We finally found a ninja myth that's plausible, and we're not even trained ninjas. I mean, could you imagine if we were trained ninjas?
The blow dart experiment was phenomenal. This is actually a plausible ninja myth. I'm completely surprised. Now I can go back to being a pirate, because I'm not one for this ninja stuff. It's cold.
Adam and Jamie are trying to put to rest whether or not a ninja can grasp a passing shaft. It's true, when ambushed, the ninja did catch an arrow. But he also caught more than a few with his body. And then some. But the ninja's real sore. He says no shadow warrior would get cornered like this. He wants a rematch with Adam. Mano a mano.
Our ninja has actually issued what sounds like a challenge. He says in a battle situation, he wouldn't catch an arrow. He'd deflect it, and I'd be dead before I got a second shot off. I say, prove it, ninja, and that's what we're about to do. We're gonna set up exactly that scenario and see if I can get 2 shots off before I'm dead. Here's the first one.
It'll be an ugly grudge match. There's a lot at stake, and Adam needs to save face. If there's anything left of his face to save.
This one's called Ninja's Revenge, and it's all about speed of reloading. And let's face it, putting an arrow onto a bow is kind of fiddly, and if you've got a ninja running at your full speed, you might be in a little trouble, or at least so our ninja says.
At 20 paces, it's Adam Ninja Buster Savage. Up against his arch enemy, the Orange Avenger.
Oh,
Oh, you're dead. You're dead.
It'll be the best of 3. That's 1.
Okay, that screaming's really disconcerting.
But it works.
I want to try that again.
That's 2 to the ninja.
Now remember, your life's at stake.
Now that Adam knows what the odds are, perhaps he'll lift his game.
Okay, you ready?
You did get the knock on the string.
I got the knock on the string, but man, Ninja got to me.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend.
Well, look, I practiced, and my arrow shooting got pretty quick. I was able to fire 2 shots in just under 3 seconds, and that didn't even come close to helping me survive the ninja. Not only did he cut my arrow in half, but I was cut down. In my prime.
Adam was toast. Although I have to say this was a close combat situation, and if Adam was over 100 feet away, there might be a different outcome.
And the final score, Ninja 3, Adam's Pride 0.
So the fans say ninjas can catch arrows. How are we gonna call this one?
I have an idea about how to answer all the complaints we're going to get from the fans. I'm going to role play as the fans and have a conversation with you as you.
Okay, I can do that.
Dude, he totally caught the arrow, even under your impossible battle conditions. Once he saw the archer raise his bow, whoop, he was able to grab that arrow.
Yeah, well, corpses can't catch arrows. He'd been dead 20 times before that.
Yes, but think of all the arrows he avoided before then, too. And under battle conditions, the archers might not be drawing to full strength, and things might be deflecting off walls and stuff like that.
He'd still be dead by then.
But remember the mano a mano when Adam shot the arrow at him and he was able to slice it out of the air with his sword?
Dead. Okay, I can't do this anymore. The myth is that a ninja could pluck an arrow, he has no idea where it's coming from, sense it coming, and reach out and pluck an arrow out of the air. Our ninja is arguably the best in the world at catching arrows, and he couldn't do that. If we had removed the rubber tips from arrows, we'd have one dead ninja on our hands. I say busted.
It's busted.
Get ready for some hate mail.
Ever since we started doing MythBusters, a large portion of the myths we use come from you, the audience. We love that. So if you've got some good stuff, you know what the show's about. Log on to discovery.com/MythBusters.